Welcome back. My name is Teresa and I'm very much alive. And if you're new here, welcome. I have an awful, garbage, filthy mouth where sometimes, just sometimes, I tend to use the word fuck as a comma. I know, I'm adorable. If you're not into that or weird stuff in general, this is definitely not the place for you. Feel free to exit out the video here. No harm, no foul. But I'll remember our Tom fondly. Y'all, I'm excited for today because it's another fun-sized makeup review. And today we're going to be talking about two products that came out a couple of weeks ago, and I've just been, you know, slow to review anything these days because, you know,
life.
It sounded more dramatic than what it was, but it's honestly, it's just been incredibly busy with work. And yeah, I'm just slow. Okay, I can't help it. But today we're going to be talking about two different products. And the first one is from Fenty Beauty, which is the Phase Drops, right? Yep, Phase Drops. Blah, 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 blah. What is it? Phase Drop Blurring Skin Tint. And then we have the, I know, we have the Too Faced Teddy Bear palette. Listen, okay? Just judge me on it. I give up. Anyway, let's talk about Fenty first.
Fenty Beauty Eaze Drop Blurring Skin Tint. This is an easy to apply, flexible skin tint Rihanna wanted to create. It quickly and visibly evens out your complexion with a blurred effect. The Hydro Blend Complex and Humidity, Sweat, and Transfer Resistant formula has a smooth texture that layers well with primer and skincare.
So this tint comes in 25 different shades. And I think for a tinted moisturizer, that's pretty fucking awesome actually. Because I feel like the most I have ever seen has been 20 shades. Of course, I could be dead wrong. So feel free to yell at me in the comments if there's another brand that I'm not thinking of. But with that said, the first thought I had come to mind when I saw this product was, wow, it's pretty nice. If you're thinking about picking this up, there's a helpful guide on the Sephora site that shows you which skin tint to get if you are a certain number in their foundation. The one thing that I absolutely love about Fenty is that all their numbers match, so it's never a fucking guessing game. You get 1.08 ounces of product, and it comes in this cute little plastic bottle that has this adorable little squeezy tube top, so you get that instead of like a traditional pump. The consistency of this formula is quite nice. It's a lighter formula, so it's not too runny, and for me, I found the best way to apply it was with a sponge. I did try it with a brush, and it was okay, but I found that I would have to go over it with a sponge just to kind of remove the brush marks. I think this tint does a good job at evening out your skin tone, but I cannot stress enough how light this coverage is. So for me, I have a lot of redness in my face, and after one coat, I could still see blemishes and redness poking through. I then added additional coats, and I found that the coverage was built up in some areas really nicely, but in the areas where my redness was poking through, especially like around this area, it was still pretty prominent. So if you are insecure about your redness, I recommend using potentially a concealer just to have additional coverage in those areas. Now, my personal preference is light medium because I don't like things weighing down my face, so I don't mind seeing a little redness poke through. Now, my skin type is very dry, and I can usually tell if a foundation or a tint will work for me just how it sits on my nose. Some products tend to look like dried cement on my nose, where you can see all the little dry spots, and it's fucking terrifying. I'm happy to say that this sits perfectly on my nose. So if you are like me and if you suffer from dry patches on your nose, I found that this product did not cling to any of that shit. This skin tint dries down to a natural finish, so I would classify this as a demi-matte finish. And cannot stress this enough, it feels weightless on the skin. It's super fucking comfortable. After applying this product, I do go over it with a light setting powder. And for me, my poison, obviously, the Chantecaille Blurring Powder. And I feel like a combination of these two products make for a perfect combination. That being said, I know one of the selling points about this tint is that there is a blurring effect to it. On my skin, there was a light, cannot stress it enough,
Light
blurring around certain areas of my face, especially around the pore areas. Yeah, it was cute, but like, I need more. I love how the Chantecaille powder looks on my cheeks. I basically turn myself into a fucking porcelain doll every fucking day. And I cannot fucking go back to seeing my fucking pores ever again. Yes, that was aggressive, I know.
but I'm passionate about my fucking pores.
I don't think this product does a really good job of blurring your imperfections. Not for me anyway. Another claim of this product is that it's buildable. For me, I prefer this as a light coverage option. If you try to build this as a medium coverage, it can get a little patchy in some areas. And you have to use a fair amount of product. So for me, a medium option really doesn't make that much sense. When building up this product, especially to get it to a medium coverage, I did notice that it would cling to some dry spots that I have, especially around this area of my face. If you do just use it as like a 1.5 coats, I really do feel like it does a great job evening out your skin tone. It's when you go above that, it can be a cakey mess. Since I'm fully vaccinated, I have been making it a point to rejoin society. And since I'll probably be heading back into the office in a few months, I'm looking for products that are mask friendly and that can wear for a very long time. I'm happy to say that I barely experience any sort of transfer with this product, except for my nose area. And that's an issue I've always had with complexion products. I wear glasses, so I think, I don't know, maybe there's a handful of products I've ever had that didn't have a small indentation around my nose where my glasses sit, but for me it's not the end of the world. I found that this product has a great longevity, super mask friendly, and when I did go out, and there kind of have been a couple of days in New York where it's been humid, this has held up perfectly. And I absolutely fucking love that it doesn't settle into my student loan stress lines. Of course there's some natural fading at the end of the day, but they weren't noticeable holes on my face. I feel like this product does a really good job of fading naturally. Again, cannot stress how long lasting this is. I've worn this product for over 12 hours and it still looked pretty good at the end of the day. So I definitely think this product is worth checking out. But I think this product would be better if you could potentially get this on sale. Well, it's not entirely breaking the bank for $29.50. I think it's not as blurring as advertised, and it doesn't look super amazing when built up. So why pay full price for that? You shouldn't, so don't.
Too Faced Teddy Bear It All Eyeshadow Palette. These sensual shades were formulated to feel smooth and buttery against your skin, while they deliver high-impact seductive color for looks that range from barely there to positively sexy. That's fucking disgusting. This palette includes 14 warm and sensual neutral tones to create endless, sexy natural looks. And the shades offer one swipe payoff for easy application. It also smells like honey graham crackers.
Okay, listen, first of all, I can feel your judgment. Yes, I can feel it all the way over here, Tiffany, okay? I'm living in New York City during a pandemic. I don't even know what day it is anymore. Sometimes I wonder if I am dead and this is hell. So sorry for wanting to revert back into being a child and getting an eyeshadow palette with a fucking bear on it. Okay, I know that was kind of a lame excuse, but whatever, I wanted it, okay? The Anne inside me won, and next thing I know, this shit was being shipped to my house. But thank God I didn't pay for it full price, because I would have been pissed otherwise. Anyway, so this palette retails for a whopping $45. Yes, you heard right. 45 motherfucking dollars. Yeah. Full disclosure, I did purchase this from Macy's, so I wound up getting this for 30% off. So I think I only paid like 30 something or whatever after tax. If it's terrible, at least I only paid $30 for it. The packaging is, I mean, come on, this is fucking beyond adorable. And I was taken back a little bit by it because this is fucking tiny. I have gotten dick pictures bigger than this palette, okay? No, I don't solicit the dick pictures, okay? The lovely woman who had my phone before me, Keisha, gets all the dick pictures. And for me, they're like trading cards. I love looking at them. Anyway, I will say that this looks so much fucking bigger online, and I'm sure we can all relate to that in some way or another. But I do love the packaging. There's something like adorably cheesy about it that I am fucking living for. When you do open him up, you do get a full-size mirror, and you get 14 shades. 10 mattes and 4 metallics. And you'll also notice that there are 2 pans that are twice the size of a single pan. I imagine that's because, you know, they're meant to be crease shades. And you'll also see that, I don't know if you can still see that, but there are 2 shimmers that are speckled eggs. I mean, they're speckled. I call them speckled eggs, but you know, they look like fucking robin's eggs, okay? Whatever, they're speckled eggs. So let's talk about the mattes here. The mattes perform pretty well for the most part. However, longevity-wise, it was very, very, very short-lived. And I think that's because there's coconut oil in some of the eyeshadow formula. Not all the pans have it, but a fair amount do. Now, I haven't gotten an allergy test or anything like that, so this is just me playing scientist in my house. But anytime that I have some sort of irritation with an eyeshadow, especially around my outer corners where they start to tear and then get red and crusty, I have been finding lately that the one ingredient that has been sticking out has been coconut. And when thinking about it, I know in the past I had to stop using the Too Faced Hangover Primer and Setting Spray because I would constantly break out from it. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I feel like the common denominator in all of this is coconut oil. So Again, I haven't had an allergy test and I want to get one soon, but I think that's the reason why these eyeshadows were not working for me. I remember also getting the Born This Way palette and having similar issues that I experienced with this palette, especially with the darker matte shades. And when I looked at the ingredients, it had coconut in it. But I also really, really love the Too Faced Pumpkin Spice palette, as well as the Gold Chocolate Bar palette. And I noticed that the ingredients in those palettes don't have any coconut in it. So you can see where I'm going with this. I really do think it's coconut, but again, once I go to a doctor, I'll fully know. So with that said, I've been trying to stay away from products with coconut in it. And I've also realized I've had a coconut deodorant and I started breaking out really badly in my armpit. So yeah, it's not fun. Not loving it. So again, when I finally get to a fucking allergy test, hopefully that will be the answer. If not, I have no fucking idea what I'm allergic to. Some of these shades in this palette hurt more than the others, but for the most part, for the first few hours, my eyeshadow looks fine. I found that the mattes were pigmented, although there were a couple that do require a little extra hand holding, so you have to build them up for a solid opacity. Where I did experience some kick up, there was little to no fallout using the mattes. And while some shades do require to be built up, I didn't experience any real patchiness or difficulty blending. And I was able to create really pretty gradients within the mattes, and I never experienced any muddiness either. Like I mentioned before, the longevity of these shades are not great. So after a few hours, there is noticeable fading, and my outer corner starts to get really, really red. So I am recording this video really fast and then taking this fucking makeup off because I can already start to feel it itch and I just want to scratch my fucking face off. Two shades in particular caused eye irritation immediately, and that is the shade Boop, and then we have the shade over here, Fuzzy Wuzzy. My eyes began to water as soon as they touched the outer corner. That being said, I think the darkest shades were probably my least favorite. Other than instant eye irritation, I had to really build them up. This shade, Boop, while yes, the darkest color in the palette, when you mix this shade on top of other shades to create depth, it would immediately fade away. You have to layer a lot of product for it to show up. And this only occurs when it's on top of existing eyeshadow. Unlike most palettes where the darkest matte can take over the whole look, this one doesn't. It doesn't bother to show up. It's really weird. The other matte in this palette that I absolutely fucking hated is this Gilda-Bear shade, which I think is this guy right here. And it's basically like this beige color with sparkles in it that I could barely see. I don't really like matte shades with sparkles in it anyway, and this shade just didn't bother to show up. And maybe it's because it's literally the same color of my fucking skin, but I don't see a need for the shade. It didn't really do anything. When I would try to use it for the inner corner, it didn't show up. The inner lid didn't show up. I even packed down concealer on top of it to try to see if that would work. No, nothing. I'm actually convinced that this shade doesn't even exist in the palette. And it's really just a sticker that they put in the palette just to fool me. As for the metallic shades, you know, I had a better experience with them. I think the speckled egg shades are incredibly pigmented and can be applied both with a dry brush or with some glitter glue. And I want to note that I didn't experience too much fallout when using those shades. They adhere to the eye with no issue, and I didn't experience any cracking or fading throughout the day. Now, the other two metallic shades, which are kind of right on top of each other, Pot of Honey and Press Pause, right? I fucking never know how to read these goddamn things. I wasn't really impressed with the quality of them. I feel like I had to keep digging into the pan to get any payoff. I will say that the Pot of Honey shade is a little bit more pigmented, this gold shade up here, and it's probably due to the fact that I kept digging my little hoof in there. But the shade is very similar to For Real, which is the speckled egg metallic shade. So I kind of question, like, did you really need both of them? Probably not. They both look relatively the same on the lid. As for Press Pause, this is an absolute fucking dud. After building the shadow up, you finally get some payoff, but it's not super impressive. I did experience a fair amount of fallout with those two shades, so be prepared for some glitter bukkake. Other than that, the longevity of the shades were fine. Now, I really don't want to recommend this palette just kind of based off of possible allergy that I have from it. However, in thinking about this review, if I didn't have an allergy to the majority of this palette, I still wouldn't recommend it at full price. I think for the price and the amount of shadows that you're getting, as well as the color story, I do think the Born This Way palette is a much better deal. Or you could always just go with the Maybelline New York Nudes and just call it a fucking day. Anyway, allergy aside, this wasn't a bad palette. It wasn't the worst thing I've ever tried, but it wasn't shit my pants amazing either. The formula, while fine, it's kind of forgettable. This palette is the equivalent to the person that you went to school with and you meet them later in life and they remember you, but you don't remember them. Sure, they show you pictures of you being at their 16th birthday party, but it doesn't ring a fucking bell. Bottom line, if you're gonna drop almost $50, let it be for something memorable. Just saying. Anyway, that's all I got for today's video. Let me know down below if you picked up either one of these products. What do you think about them? Do you love them? Do you hate them? Do you agree? Do you hate me? I'm sure there's plenty of people that do. I don't fucking care. I want to say thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. As always, feel free to like, comment, hit that subscribe button. It's free, and hit that bell icon for notification of all my future posts. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Patreon to all my beautiful little patron bubbies. I love your adorable little delicious faces. Thank you so much for keeping this delicious, disgusting, coconut, allergy, grossness, garbage boat afloat. I couldn't do without you. I love your adorable little delicious faces, and I just can't wait to gobble you all up because it's gonna be great for both me and you. If you want to know what's currently on my face, along with where to get these products, my merch, my podcast, my bloopity blah blah, everything will be listed in the description box below. And I'll see you, what is this? Hi. Sorry, I'm like, ooh. I'll see you little pumpkins later. Bye.